Hey friends, this is Dolany TV. Glad to have you aboard here this evening. Not expecting to have aboard after what was a ball game here between the Pirates and the Ball Sharks out here in Crossfield. Hey, we won. Good thing, and yeah, it was a good game. But the Edmonton Oilers, in the meanwhile, were busy working the phone with Tampa Bay and completing the Isaac Howard deal. At long last, Isaac Howard, after many weeks, many months, you could say, of rumors, has been acquired and signed to an entry-level deal by the Edmonton Oilers. The Hobey Baker winner in 2025 has signed with the Oilers in exchange to Tampa Bay for Sam O'Reilly, which, again, however you want to consider it, after a year down there in junior between Matt Savoy and Sam O'Reilly, one of the Oilers' at least bare minimum top 3 prospects in the system. And what an addition by Tampa Bay to get Sam O'Reilly out of a tight situation with Isaac Howard. Obviously things could have changed, not that it sounded like they were going to with Isaac Howard and Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay, they kept holding out, kept wanting that better deal. And I think for the Oilers and the Tampa Bay Lightning, it all around works out just fine for both teams. The Oilers obviously get that NHL ready help, or at least Isaac Howard should be ready to go. If you had thoughts that Sam O'Reilly might be playing some NHL games this year for the Edmonton Oilers, well, you know, end of the day, it'll be Isaac Howard indeed getting some NHL time here for the Oilers. He signed his entry-level deal. Again, the plan here for the Oilers has been get younger, get faster, get a little bit more skill in the lineup. I think now, you know, you have a little bit of a fail-safe to one in Matt Savoy. I really actually don't know anything on Isaac Howard. Of all the things that's gone on this offseason, that's the one thing I've paid the least attention to, is the whole Isaac Howard trade rumors. Again, I think Patrick over at the Oilers Fanatic had a great line when I was up there in Edmonton a week or two ago, basically saying when something finally happens, that's when I'll talk about it. And for me, I just mentally checked out and forgot about it for about until it happened tonight. So for the Oilers, again, like I'm saying, it sucks to lose Sam O'Reilly, but to add a high-caliber college player that wants to come here, that wasn't going to sign elsewhere in Tampa Bay, ends up, you know what, adding an insane prospect to the Oilers list. I think he was, Isaac Howard, the top-ranked Tampa Bay Lightning prospect, or similar to Sam O'Reilly, one of the top 3. So not a bad addition at all. And again, anytime you can kind of get guys that are a little bit closer to NHL action, again with obviously Isaac Howard coming over to the NCAA, the big thing here is you end up getting a guy who's either going to play in Bakersfield or on the NHL roster this season. And yeah, you know, it sucks to lose Isaac Howard because, you know, you're that much closer to, or not Isaac Howard, sorry, Sam O'Reilly, because you were that much closer to building up a pipeline, kind of, when all of a sudden you would have, you know, a situation for the Oilers where once these bigger guys that are signed, you know, Nugent Hopkins of the worlds and stuff, are done and dusted, all of a sudden you end up having guys like Sam O'Reilly fill in their spot without missing a beat. Now the hope is obviously that Isaac Howard can himself do that. Will that be the case? Will that happen? That remains to be seen. But for the Edmonton Oilers, it's all around. Just again, the Oilers said they were going to be aggressive this offseason. Connor McDavid obviously made it clear that the Oilers had to fine-tune this roster and get very creative. We've heard that, you know, even if Darnell Nurse is sitting here denying that the Oilers asked him to waive his no trade or no movement clause, whatever that meme was meant to mean last night on Instagram. Simply, the Oilers, I don't think, are going to stop turning everything over before the season starts. That's the beautiful part here. We haven't seen much movement on the goaltending yet, friends, but for the Oilers, they are definitely trying to turn over every single rock and figure out what's going on as we move forward into into an off-season that's going to get quiet here at some point. But the Oilers are content to not slow down yet. So we love to see that. But for the Edmonton Oilers here, again, like I'm saying, if you're just tuning in, I'm seeing we just popped up from 30 up to 72 of you along live. So I'll repeat myself. It's Sam O'Reilly to the Tampa Bay Lightning for one Isaac Howard. Isaac Howard won the 2025 Hobey Baker, so that's a big addition for the Edmonton Oilers to get a good guy that will be NHL ready this year. Again, either he plays all year in Bakersfield or he plays time at the NHL level. There is no in-between here for the Edmonton Oilers and Isaac Howard. So Sam O'Reilly might have been lucky to get, you know, a game or two or a game in the playoffs or something like that. at the NHL level. The Oilers instead, entry-level deal for Isaac Howard, immediately signed after trading to Edmonton, and now all of a sudden for the Oilers, you've got a situation here where you've got another player in that bottom 9 mix. Again, I would say there is possibility Isaac Howard, I don't know anything about him, but if he has a good camp, again, that spot on that second line is open for competition for anybody between Podkolzin, Nugent Hopkins. You got everybody out there that could possibly run that line with Mr. Leon Draisaitl after we've moved Victor Arvidsson. I think it's a foregone conclusion that that you've got a situation here where Mr. Ryan Nugent Hopkins is done playing with the top line, at least for now, given that Zach Hyman might miss some time. You're going to want to spread things out a little bit more evenly, allow Draisaitl to hopefully generate some 5-on-5 points and get things going. And Nugent Hopkins definitely can help him with that. So the Oilers, again, like I'm saying, it just really comes down to getting the depth moves going, and obviously just trying to fine-tune a bottom 9 that really was ineffective. Obviously the top 12 were ineffective in the Stanley Cup Finals, but that bottom 9 got awfully quiet here towards the end of the playoffs. So for the Oilers, the more you do now, the easier it's going to get in the regular season, obviously, as we're saying. And obviously too, Isaac Howard, NHL ready caliber player. Again, the Oilers have a ton. They have probably 10 bubble guys that could fill out position 10 through 12 on this roster. So really it comes down to training camp. The Oilers have 8 games in the Oilers have 8 games in the regular preseason, to decide all of this. So there's plenty of time to figure this out. Obviously training camp's going to be important, and you got to think as well, the Oilers are kind of a team that have that soft bottom 9 in the roster, that really there's a lot of flexibility in terms of positions. I'll get there, sorry. As the Oilers are obviously looking for that competition. That's really what this comes down to. Sam O'Reilly, again, when it comes to running back to the Stanley Cup Finals tomorrow, as in this year, Sam O'Reilly was not going to factor into that other than via the trade route. The Oilers trade Sam O'Reilly for Isaac Howard. That ultimately turns into an NHL caliber body that will compete to push this bottom 6 into the next echelon, hopefully allow them to score a whole whack more points down there. Again, anytime you got guys that can get the job done in the bottom 6, that's going to get things going. Bottom 9 even. Again, Leon Draisaitl's line has to be super effective at 5-on-5 this year, and obviously other guys have to be able to contribute when you double shift Connor and Leon following a power play or following a penalty kill. So the Oilers have to go out there and follow it up with some talent. They've got Isaac Howard. Sam O'Reilly, as I'm saying, was never going to factor in, but friends, it's a deal that obviously comes at great shock to the name Sam O'Reilly, but obviously for the Oilers, it's not a deal that comes at too steep of a price to get an NHL talented caliber body that's going to push your bottom 6, like I'm saying, into that next echelon of teams here in the NHL. Even if Sam O'Reilly turns out good for Tampa Bay, this is a deal the Edmonton Oilers are going to be happy with, at least immediately. And again, this also comes down to something that doesn't happen all too often in Edmonton. A top college potential free agent wanted to come to Edmonton. That's the big thing with Isaac Howard here. Is Sam O'Reilly was a few years off, or a year off at minimum. Isaac Howard wanted to be here. He wanted to sign in Edmonton. He wanted a contract, and he wanted it to be with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. So if you add that up, you're going to think that the Oilers are going to get somebody good here that wants to be here, at least for the short term, and help out and try and win us a Stanley Cup. So friends, Isaac Howard for Sam O'Reilly. The Edmonton Oilers are a team in flux throughout this regular season, as they will be for the next little bit. But thank you for being aboard. Again, if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. Would love to have you. This isn't the regular quality of videos if you're tuning in for the first time. And if you enjoyed the speech spiel, sorry, I've tried to keep up with comments and not been able to even wrap my head around what's going on there with everything to say. So leave a like on the video. Again, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you tomorrow in the studio. But thanks, friends, for being aboard here tonight, as I'm liking what we got in Isaac Howard, and I'm hoping the Edmonton Oilers got a good one. Again, in terms of what I know with Isaac Howard, I'll close out this video by saying not much. I'm excited to watch him at training camp. I'm excited to see what the Edmonton Oilers do the rest of the offseason, and hopefully they don't shock me while I'm playing ball here in Crossfield. The Pirates win. Let's go. It's a good night to be an Oilers fan, and we are up on out of here.